All right, good morning, everyone. And welcome to our commission meeting, the last one for the year. So we always like to see this one. So if we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and Commissioner Fayette, if you'll lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Tyree.
So, this regular summer. And I have 2 orders to combine and 1 order to divide. See the. 2 of them were just regular, they want to put their parcels together. One of them we had to split, because he has a structure he uses for his. So we had to change that on some part of it.
So you'll have to make the vote.
I make a motion, we approve the exoneration.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I move that we approve the orders to combine and divide.
Second, have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No refund.
So we have 3 total. Okay, we have to pay our vouchers and invoices. Do we have any issues?
The only issue was that some were submitted that were old, and our policy is at 90 days or something, Ruth?
Which.
For submitting vouchers and things. Anyway, I'm not going to suggest that we not pay them, but I'd like to ask that those who are submitting vouchers submit them within the 90-day window in the future. And I think we need to consider issuing a letter to the entity that submitted them late.
And if there is an issue that you have been delayed, that you send it in, that you send a letter of explanation of why we've delayed in sending those in.
Perfect. Okay, so I move we approve them.
A second.
We have motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes?
I told you they're not ready.
Okay, all right.
Payroll though.
I will move that we approve payroll for 12/12 and 12/26.
Second.
Okay, motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Terry.
Have the bottom of them, this seem for the 2024 tax year and taxes. This has everything that was paid delinquent, certified to the state, anything that went in the bankruptcy is all for this. So
How is that service using working?
some months are really, really big and then others it's not, like maybe we have that early normal tax. So
Are we noticing a difference?
I think so, yes, we've had some royalty tickets that have been spent for years and years that have been paid. So that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Do you feel that this service is working well, that maybe taxes that would have been, that's left unattended to?
Yeah.
Okay, and they do work off of a commission, no? Okay, well, thank you.
So I move we approve the list.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Move to approve the state settlements.
Well, let's look and see.
Was in your packet.
Yeah, I have no.
Here.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, so William Claggett Price Jr. We have council president. While you're behind you there, I think. Your lawyer will speak for you, sir.
Step to the microphone where the
Step up to the
people can
microphone
hear
there.
you. Pay it down.
We've tendered a joint petition. I'm counsel for Mr. Flagg.
Yes.
Claiming that the estate is represented by Mr. Gray from Beckley, and Mr. Clay was appointed the fiduciary commissioner in this matter. And there is a legal issue that among the council has been determined to tender a request to your body to basically move that up to the circuit court. Any determination by this commission body would be appealed to the circuit court, so we felt it would be more economical if we entered this stipulation jointly and request that your body approve that so that it can be assigned then to one of the circuit court judges. As the
Agree with
attorney's
that logic.
phrase,
Do you have any problem with it?
No, I mean, it's essentially, we need a legal determination as to what the augmented date consists of. So it makes sense to have a circuit judge make the call.
Okay, do any of the other council present have anything to say, Ed?
We basically had a mediation first before we had a fiduciary hearing. And at the mediation, we determined that there were complete difference of opinion as to what the law was on the issue. And regardless of what I decided, one of them was going to appeal it.
Right.
So rather than spend a bunch of client money and waste a bunch of time doing this and then going to circuit court after I wrote an opinion, just let it go straight up and let the judge decide. And when the judge decides, then we can go back and sort out what the facts are applied to that law.
Mr. Gray, that's your position also?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I move that we refer this matter to circuit court.
Second. Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Leave Mr. Sheepsley.
I volunteered to do the order, and thank you very much for your time
Thank
this
you.
morning.
Paul, how did you win out over the family court judges?
Really fantastic. But
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so with regard to the estate of Adesi Ruth Long. Anthony, I think we're gonna have to lean on you here.
Which of the heirs is in attendance?
The
I'm
heirs.
Steve Long.
Steve Long's here. You're one of the,
Yeah.
you're one of the heirs?
Yeah, we was both on there. Either he was gonna do it or I would do it on the will of my mom's 2011 will.
Are there any other heirs present?
They were supposed to be on Zoom.
Okay, on Zoom. Okay, good deal.
So let's get the names here.
5 heirs.
What are their names?
Do you know the name?
Oh, yeah, Brian Barrett,
Ron Berry, Scott Berry, Debbie, Rudy, Steve Long, Bell Long, Brenda Burley.
Could the heirs who are online, please identify yourselves in the comments?
I'm Brian Barry.
Grandchildren.
I'm Scott Barry, but I'm not getting no screen. All I've got is just, I can hear you guys. I don't see nothing.
Okay, who are you, sir?
Scott Barry.
Who else do we have?
Brian Barry.
Bethel Bentley.
Have you been able to hear everybody's names?
Bentley and,
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
Not entirely. I've got Scott Berry, Brian Berry, Steve Long,
Kenny Long,
Kenny Long, and then
Brenda
Brenda.
Brenda Bernard, and James Long.
Who is who's Bethel?
And Vic.
Who is Bethel? There's a
Bethel
Bethel.
and Bentley.
Pardon?
Bethel and Bentley.
Okay.
She's represented by grandchildren or children.
Okay, so that's.
Michelle, you're saying that she is represented by children?
Sorry, yeah, there were 5 children. Joyce Berry passed not long after Ms. Long. And now, so that puts her, her 3 children are heirs because of, they would inherit their mother's.
Do you understand any of that?
It's Brian Barry,
Okay. Got that.
Scott Barry,
Okay.
and Tammy Prude. That's the heirs of Joyce Berry.
There you go.
Is Mr. Ward in attendance somewhere?
It's not on site.
We probably need to start making sure that, and especially in a contested one like this, the fiduciary commissioner attends.
I believe he was invited.
Was he? Did you put that matter on for executive session for me? I didn't see it. Okay, so Anthony, can you walk us through, or Michelle?
The gist of the fiduciary commissioner's order, we tried to distill it down into. There was a hearing for the fiduciary commissioner on October 3rd, 2025. It's not clear from the order what the purpose of the hearing was, but then as you read through the order, it gives the history of the case and talks about Ms. Long having passed away January 22nd, 2021. Stephen Long was appointed as executor of the estate March 7th, 2024. Obviously, that's a delay of over 3 years. In between, there was litigation as to the appropriate will that should be utilized. If I remember correctly, there was a will from 2008 and the second from 2011. Judge Ewing ended up ruling that the 2011 will controlled. Make a long story short, the fiduciary commissioner made findings that Stephen Long had breached his fiduciary duty to the estate and that he should be removed as executor. Fiduciary commissioner also noted that there was significant animosity between the heirs and that, in his opinion, the sheriff should be appointed to assume responsibility.
Let me, I just got official list of the beneficiaries. Do you think we should check through and kind of check off, make sure everybody's here and everybody's been served? Would you want to do that or you want me to do it?
Well, you have, I don't care if you do.
Okay, so so is Jimmy Long present?
No.
Was
There's
he,
nobody here to Steve and Kelly.
was he given notice, Michelle?
My assumption is that that the lawyers did help them. But we did not send anything personally from them.
Which lawyers?
Dunlap and.
But Mr. Dunlap was Mr.
Dunlap.
Long.
Right.
Yeah.
And I. Yes, as far as I know, they were told about it, the meeting. We did not send a letter from my office. But that's not, once it becomes a fiduciary commissioner issue, we don't have much to do with it. It would have been Gavin or that would have noticed everyone. But they were given that.
Yeah, it's really, till we know that people have been served, we really can't make.
Got an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Berry has passed away and her child or children are present
They're on Zoom. Scott Berry,
and they're on Zoom.
Scott Berry, Brian.
Yes, Scott Berry. This is Scott Berry.
Scott,
This is
Brian,
Brian Berry. And our sister Tammy Pruden, but she's at work.
and she was aware of the hearing but just couldn't make it, guys?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and Brenda Berner,
She's been in my office at least 3 times asking about when to be here and what she needed.
is she on Zoom?
I thought I heard her voice.
They were supposed to be on
We had
Zoom.
we had a death in the family
Uh-huh.
and out of Beckley, and they called them and said they was going to do what Zoom. They're going to stay in Columbus.
Okay, and so he's not here. Kids and the Longs are here. So Scott Berry is listed as grandson here. Okay, so they're all listed, but not in Joyce's stat. So, okay.
That's Joyce's Berry's children.
Right, okay.
Now, it took 3.5 years just trying to get the up.
And Bethel Bentley is on Zoom. So Brenda.
Bethel Bentley is here, and I was not notified in any way
message from hearsay.
Hearsay.
Internet.
So we don't know whether we have Brenda.
No, I'm not sure.
Brenda is on.
Oh.
Is she?
Yes, she is. She spoke to you.
Is she one of the phone numbers? Could,
I just got a text that her phone is not letting her take it. I'm trying to be, they're trying to cut me off too. Somehow or another, I don't know how.
Well, it is cell coverage.
it's true.
Brenda was on there a little bit ago.
Hello?
Is this Brenda?
Yeah, this is Brenda. You guys, I don't know how, but I was muted in the beginning. And there again, I was not notified either. But when I came into court, like last week, I had to go get the keys from my brother. So I got the keys and I stopped in and they told me it was scheduled on the state. I didn't hear nothing. So had I not been in Oak Hill, I would never known.
So,
no attorney or nobody said nothing for this.
according to my list, the only person not notified is Jimmy Long.
I told Jimmy myself, but how was I notified? I didn't receive any mail or nothing.
Well, what I'm saying is there are different types of notice, but because you actually have shown up, you did, for our purposes, get notified, even though it wasn't done the way we wish it had been done.
Okay.
So I want to move that we go into executive session real quick. I need to ask Anthony a couple of things.
Please do.
I was wondering.
I'll make a second to go into executive session so we can ask a quick question.
So we can get legal advice?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The purpose of it is for legal advice.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're back from executive session. No decisions were made. We had to get some legal advice on some issues with this hearing. Specifically, we have concerns about the fact that several of the beneficiaries, even though they have actual notice and appeared here, they were not given notice, official notice. We can't guarantee, even though the fiduciary commissioner certified that he did send notice to all of the beneficiaries, because so many said they didn't receive notice, we're concerned that the people not here did not get it. So for that reason, I'm going to make a motion here, and that's going to tell you.
Last time we was here, Gavin Ward, they had them write all their emails down so they could fit emails. We all got emails.
Well, we're not doing email. So one thing I do need to do is verify everybody's address here. So, Mr. Stephen Long, are you still at PO Box 7082 Huntington?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Kenneth Long, are you at 357 Good Life Way?
Daytona Beach, Florida, 32124.
Okay. Scott Berry, are you at 1695 Hopkins Ave?
I think they,
They're still here. They're just muted.
1695 Hopkins Avenue.
Okay. And Brian Berry, are you at 2328 Summit Street?
Yes.
Okay. And then Bethel Bentley, are you at 126 Meadow Drive? Can you make sure she's unmuted? Miss Bentley?
Yes,
Are
I
you
am. Yes, I'm at 126 Meadow Drive.
Okay, and then Brenda Berner,
Wait a minute, 126 or 1265?
I have 126.
Okay, because the certificate of service on one of these orders is 1265 Meadow Drive.
Okay.
No, there's no 1265, period.
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Brenda Berner, are you at 548 Cricket Run Road?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so the only two we need to verify are Tammy's and Jimmy's. Does anybody have Tammy's and Jimmy's?
I have Tammy's address.
Is she at 7117 Nicholas Lane?
Yes.
Okay, and you guys have Jimmy's?
Yes,
Okay, is he at 111 Mulberry Drive?
yes.
Okay, all right, so we verified all the addresses. So I'm gonna make a motion that we set a hearing for January, what?
I don't mean to interrupt you. There were actually two orders. And I had assumed the other order had already been dealt with because the date of the hearing before the Fiduciary Commission is November of 2024.
Mhm.
So apparently, from what Ruth is telling me, the first time that order's been presented to the commission was with this most recent order from the October 3rd, 2025 hearing. So there's actually two orders before the commission approved. One from the fiduciary commissioner hearing in November of 2024, and then the second order from the hearing in October of 2025. The first order has to deal with two claims that were filed against the estate. One by Ms. Berner, one by Steve Long.
The liens or whatever,
It doesn't, I mean, the fiduciary commissioner's order doesn't make sufficient findings for me to have an opinion one way or the other. Simply suffice to say, he's denied both claims. I can't really discern from the order what the logic was as to why he denied both claims.
Okay, we're gonna have to
The one
subpoena.
claim Brenda she put in for, it was denied because it was on one's count.
Her personal account.
Yeah, she was trying to claim $18,000 and my mom, she wrote checks on my mom.
Okay, we don't need to get into specifics right now, and especially Mr. Long, because you have counsel and he's not here, so that's one of the concerns we had also.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take care of that. So we're gonna have to address those orders then too. So what was the subject matter of the second order?
It was the fiduciary commissioner's decision to disallow two claims against the estate, one by Steve, one by Brenda Berner.
So there was one per, so when you say two, one, it was per person.
One claim per person, one by Ms. Berner, one by Mr. Long.
Okay. And the so the October order was?
That was the order that ordered the removal of Mr. Long.
Okay.
Which recommended the appointment of the sheriff as executive.
Okay, all right.
While she's writing down, do you have something you say?
Yes, what they're talking about there is I filed, where they had broke into the house.
Yep.
And
Mr. Long, he has a lawyer and he's not here.
Understand.
So he shouldn't be talking.
he may not show back up.
Well, if he submits a withdrawal or something, that's one thing, but right now you're represented by counsel. So you should not speak directly to us about this. Okay? You know, if you end up getting rid of him or he resigns.
I didn't get rid of him, but I know the situation where we're at here. And
okay,
can the commission just take it and go back over it in front of the judge so the judge can make a ruling on what all the damage is?
I'm about to explain and make a motion about what we need to do.
Explain this to you.
No, sir, I do not want you to explain anything to me because your lawyer's not here and you're represented by counsel. We can't do it. Okay, so back to my motion. Anthony, do you have anything more to add?
No.
Okay, so my motion is that we set a hearing for January 7th of 2026.
Second.
Wait, Like,
Okay, let you finish.
but thank you. January 7th, 2026. Ruth, what time you want to set it?
9:30.
At 9:30 a.m. I want to issue subpoenas to the lawyers. I want Mr. Ward here. And Mr. Dunlap here.
Ma'am, may I?
And
may-
the things, ma'am, the things that we're going to discuss, just as a heads up, we are going to discuss Mr. Ward's recommendation that we remove Mr. Long as fiduciary or executor. We're also going to discuss, if we do that, who is interested in becoming one, because as long as someone is interested, we are not going to likely appoint the sheriff. Further, I'm going to have questions. Sorry, sir, but I'm trying to get this out. We are going to have questions about the items that were in storage and the state of them. I don't want you to answer them right now. I'm just letting you know we're going to have questions about that. We're going to want to get some information about the appraisal of the home, whether it's been listed with the realtor to determine the listing price. And that is it. Have I missed anything, Anthony? Okay, so
Did you mention that we're approving the recommendation as claims to be disallowed?
no. So the other thing we'll consider is the claims against the estate filed by Mr. Long, and who was the other person who filed the claim? Brenda
Partner.
Okay, so we'll consider the merits of those claims as well. Those are the items we're going to consider on January 7th, 2026, 9:30 a.m. right here in the commission chambers. We are going to ensure everybody gets notice. Anybody who doesn't come once they've received notice has forfeited their right to have an opinion about what happens here. I mean, they can appeal it, but they're not going to have the opportunity to speak. So everybody should try to make time to appear if they have something to say. Nobody can speak for anybody else because you're not lawyers, unless the only person who can speak for somebody else is a lawyer. Okay, so that's my motion.
Second.
Can we,
May I ask
can we
a
do it?
question?
We have a motion and second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so
Motion
we'll see you on January 7th. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, we are way behind. 9:25, let's jump ahead to that one. Oh, Michelle is a public one also. Okay, Michelle. Okay.
I'm here.
All right, so 9:45 is a public hearing request by Edward Ray Scott for abandonment of a right of way in Canal Falls.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I had copies here of the application.
It happens all the time, don't worry.
Well, I'm klutz, so I'm not surprised.
Thank you, sir.
You have it.
Yeah, I think we had it in our packet.
We do.
Okay, you already packeted it for everyone.
Mhm.
In addition to that application, I have copies of two deeds that we failed to include in that. So that are important here. If you would look at the last page of the application and attachments, there is a map. And Mr. Scott's here on the front page, on the front chair, excuse me, front chair. In the past, as I've attached to this application, Mr. Scott applied for abandonment of this, the back part of this right of way that goes to the back portion of this property that has already been abandoned. This area has been uh, taken by, the county as part of the FEMA, program here to take this flooded property that was along the riverbank. So the county basically owns all this property that's in back here. And the commission has already abandoned this right of way that's past this shaded area because no one was accessing this property. And the only people that have been accessing it were basically illegally doing it to get back to the river here. So that's been shut down. At this point, on the going down this right of way to the left, Mr. Scott has acquired this 0.034 acres to the left by these two deeds that I've just presented to you. One was from Miss Bennett, and the others from West Virginia Housing Fund after they had foreclosed on the front portion of this property. And attached to that was a plat showing property to the Bennett deed showing what was going to be acquired by him. So he's acquired the property that's on the left-hand side of this. He would like to have this final section of this 20 feet abandoned. No one has any rights other than the county and Mr. Bennett. You're the only persons or legal entities with any interest in this 20 feet at all. There's no reason for anyone to have it. A need for it. It only accesses the his property and the property that's been taken by the county as part of the flood abandonment. Mr. Scott has a trailer mobile home on his property that back here that was built pursuant to a zoning variance real close to this line. He would just like to have this abandoned so that we won't have any issue about that in the future. And so that he'd have the right to keep people from just pulling in here for no reason at all. People could have the mistaken view that it's some public place for them to just pull in and for no good reason to just park there or just drive in and so forth. Then there's just no reason for anybody to have a right of access to it. The county's already abandoned, the commission's already abandoned all this right of way behind this, and we ask that you abandon this little section right here.
So you're saying, did you see anything that would alert us?
Is there anybody else who wants to speak?
Number 19 is referred to on the map. Number 19, it's the 0.21 acres. And who's in possession of that?
That's the
The 0.21, number 19 circled. That's county property?
That's county.
All right, and then are we talking about the 20-foot right of way that you have in the shaded areas, which you want to be further abandoned?
That's right.
All right, as we go on up from the 20 feet, are you stating that has already been abandoned?
Everything on the left side of that, or on the right side of that going up through there is Mr. Scott.
That's Mr. Scott's property?
Yes, and everything on the left side is.
So what I'm talking about when you say left, that would be the number 21 circled, and the right of way in front of it.
Yeah, all abandoned.
All that's abandoned. Only thing we're talking about is the 20 feet,
The shaded.
the shaded area.
And everything behind that toward the river going up through there has already been abandoned by the order that's attached to our application.
And was it FEMA property too? What had been abandoned?
This back here.
Was it FEMA property or was it
No,
county property?
there wasn't FEMA property.
Okay, so is there anybody else who wants to speak to this? Can you make sure there's nobody on Zoom?
Anyone on Zoom or anyone present would like to speak on this?
Okay.
All right.
I think we're probably gonna need to take this under abeyance, and one of the reasons is because the FEMA property has a ton of rules attached to what we're able to do and not do. And I'm not sure that we could grant this. Like there are rules about mowing the grass and all kinds of other things
No fences.
with FEMA owned property. So I'd like Anthony to have time to take a look at the agreement we have with FEMA and just make sure we're.
Well, the earlier abandonment order is attached to the application, Anthony, of 2007. And it states that petition for abandonment of that owned by this commission as a result of flood mitigation. And that this property that was destroyed, washed away, no longer exists for a large portion of the distance to be abandoned. You might want to look at that if you're going to dig into this a little bit.
We'll definitely look at it. I mean, I want to make sure that, I'm not sure that order was proper, so I just want to make sure that before we do something that we're doing it and in accordance with our agreement and accordance with FEMA. So, but thank you for pointing that out so we can take a look at that. So I move that we, Anthony, you think you have time to research it by next meeting?
Yeah, I should. I'll say something on that.
Sure.
Where my house trailer is, that's where I wanted that 20-foot abandoned, because the county zoning gave a zoning variance. They set that house trailer right on the property line, and my porch and my telephone pole and my air conditioning is sitting out in that street. Okay, and that's why I wanted to get it abandoned. That way nobody could pull in there and nobody could force me to take the pole down and my air conditioner out and my porch. That's why I wanted it abandoned.
But those things aren't on this property, right? They're on your property.
They're right on the line
Okay.
of the right of way.
Okay.
The house trailer right.
I understand the reason, and the reason isn't what I'm concerned about.
Okay.
We're just gonna make sure everything is above.
Okay.
We're making sure we can do it,
Okay.
Yeah, we have.
and if there are any rules that we have to follow to do it, and then we'll make a decision on it.
Well, I don't think from what I've looked at from the FEMA map, there is a FEMA map that shows what's there. I don't think the 20 feet is included in the FEMA. So I don't think that you'll have a problem.
Okay,
But
sweet.
And we don't have any objections right now. No one is bringing up
I
objections.
appreciate your concerns, and if I can help in any way, let me know.
Are you available on the 7th of January?
Should be.
Okay, I move that we hold this matter in abeyance and postpone until the 7th of January.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Michelle.
No worries, you're fine.
All right, this one should be a lot of us. This.
Are you there?
Stay. We'll hold it. I think it's, oh, we'll stand.
What is it?
Stand. All right, so precinct changes. I sent the commission the municipal elections, were we to do all the municipalities, what the map would look like. And also sent numbers on how many machines we would need, express votes and DS2, well, they're now DS300s, but tabulators. So with that, as the more I looked at the maps and the more I realized how much work it's going to be, I would like to hold off on making most of those changes until after the primary. That gives us gives us a little bit more time to start to look at that stuff and get it done this summer. Next summer, it also gives us the opportunity to budget for those extra machines. So the only change that I'm asking us to make and to order today is to move the precinct boundaries of Smithers to Smithers city limits boundaries, and the people that are outside those city limits, which is basically Boomer and up into Countin Hollow, put them in precinct 26, which would then make them vote at the Union Hall there in Canton.
So you don't feel that purchasing new equipment is necessary at this point?
Not if we do this, not if we do just this one thing change today, and then like I said, we can budget that money into next year's next fiscal year's budget, and that might make it a little easier to get that figured out, because we will need those machines. As you guys can see from my numbers, we're going to need about what I asked for. So
And it's not going to affect the primary or
we have to do Smithers because Smithers is intending on being on our 26 primary ballot. So I have to change Smithers. The others we're looking more at like 28 is when would be on our ballot. And so I don't have to make that change right now. I kind of wanted to do it all together, but this makes a little more sense, both monetarily and with the time with our office. We also have confirmation notices going out at the end of this month, which will be coming back and will need dealt with in addition to getting ready for the election. And I think that it makes more sense for us to do all of this change in the summer before the general, or even after the general of 26.
So you feel that we have the sufficient amount of equipment currently to take care of the Smithers change, or do we have to purchase a?
No, we have it because we're not really making any. We're not making any new precincts. We're just changing 2 precincts, but they'll be, yeah.
It's just a person move, not a
Yes,
machine move.
I'm good with it.
And I measured it. It's not that it is farther for those people in Boomer to go vote. Yes. It is not, I do not think it is prohibitive, but it is farther.
Okay. I have no problems, and if you're comfortable with that, your decision. So, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve Michelle's request for a
Precinct change.
precinct change. Thank you.
Second.
She's second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got the AML.
That was easy.
That's me.
All the AMLs you.
Yep.
Not yet. But I will.
Did you press that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna get on to the next item. And then we're gonna take a little break, but when it comes to things, I want to think a little bit differently. So everyone's heard about which came first, the chicken or the egg? And that's been a long, long discussion. So it got me thinking, what comes first? A house or a job? And, there's a lot of studies that's been done. The average home buyer, first-time home buyer, is now 40 years old when you look across the United States, because they don't have the money to get their jobs or to get the homes. So with that being said, I have contacted Matt at Greenbrier Environmental, since he's already under a contract with us, and asked him to look at abandoned mine land, see what type of utilities are already there in ground, or how far they are away so that we can start marketing those to some prospective employers coming into our market. We have several acres of abandoned mine land. And for West Virginia, a lot of that is pretty well flat compared to other parts because it was mined. I feel that we have an opportunity there to bring in some jobs so that we can then have people looking for homes. We have other studies being done where we're trying to get it, areas sold so that homes can start being built. But in order to have that done, people have to have the ability to pay for the homes. So a lot of people that are starting to get out on their own, they're staying with their parents, or they're staying with other people that they have family members or friends in order to save up enough money for a down payment and other things. So Matt, are you on there?
I am. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. So Matt has agreed in words, but I need the commission to approve this. But I would like Matt to get information on all of our abandoned mine lands, all the utilities close to it. And then we start looking at ways that we can get grants in order to improve the infrastructure if necessary, and also start marketing all this abandoned mine land.
Can we run this through the LRA?
I'm not sure because I don't know if that's something that they would be interested in. From what I understand, the LRA purchases property that at tax sales, and then after 18 months, we can turn that over into something else. I really don't see them going out and marketing this type of property to prospective buyers.
But it's the land reuse agency, so I feel like that's probably an LRA function, even though what it's done so far has been like if are we looking to acquire land or just identify
And market it to other businesses to get them to come into the county.
If the LRA is involved, then there are certain stipulations that go with that we have to offer to adjoining or adjacent landowners at cost that we have incurred. We would limit ourselves if we went through the LRA. This commission can probably do better with a more broad, diverse uses of the land.
So we're just identifying land. We're not trying to purchase or hold land.
No.
We're identifying developable land.
Correct.
I think we could be on a broader scope. Go ahead.
Matt, go ahead.
In an effort to be efficient with the requests and the tie-in to the LRA, Region 4 Planning and Development was working on and developed a system in GIS to identify those properties of interest for the LRA. And of course, Region 4, they have information on various utilities and other infrastructure. So I talked to John Tuggle, and adding the AML sites to the system that they've already developed is a pretty light lift. So I think it would help because then you could have an online resource to where you could actually select layers where you could pick properties that were owned or of interest by the LRA, or you could remove those and add AML sites. I think the abandoned mine land interest and approach to look at those sites is a good one for a couple different reasons. Federal grant funding is very limited nowadays, and the Abandoned Mine Lands Economic Revitalization Grant is still receiving funding. And then the US EPA Brownfields funding is also available. And both of those pots of money would be applicable to abandoned mine land. So it would open up, if there was interest in a property, then you could use both of those funding sources to help make something happen on an AML property. So it makes a lot of sense. But my role would just be coordination between Region 4 to get these abandoned mine lands on the system that they're already created.
So, let me think of what you just said. You're gonna use, Region 4 to help you get site ready, specific site ready, land and maybe some grant funds that could help others get in. And then later we maybe bring the LRA in to help move the land.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what
Michael had a comment here.
Yeah. Hey, Commissioners, Michael Taylor here. The LRA would be a great entity to be the holder of the property that's identified for purchase. The LRA has broad powers in purchasing properties. It's not just tax deed properties. I know that's what they traditionally have been going after, but they can purchase any property. And if it's not a tax deed property, they can sell it on the open market to anybody at any cost that they want. So they don't have to offer it to adjoining neighbors or anything like that if they buy it on the open market. There's a nuance when they buy tax deeded properties that they have to offer it to adjacent property owners. But if they go out and purchase a site, just paying cash for it, then they have to, by law, they actually have to market it. They have to put it as available for sale or lease it. And then they can determine the price that they want to sell for it. So they could sell it, for a profit, or if they want to get it into private hands, they can actually sell it for a loss. And you don't actually have to bid it out. If the county would own it, there'd have to be a bidding and all of that stuff. The LRA doesn't have to do that. So the LRA would be a good entity if you go down this route, to purchase the properties, because they have a lot more flexibility in how they can offload the property than, say, if the county bought it.
What about for marketing it? Because John said he's not proposing right now that we purchase anything. He said he's proposing that we identify it so we can put the word out about what's available.
Yeah, I mean that the LRA can do that. They're by statute, they're supposed to maintain a list of available properties for purchase that they own, but that doesn't mean that they can't also identify additional property. Another entity, if you're looking to sell that property to businesses, would be the NRGRDA could coordinate with the LRA to help identify those types of things. So that would be probably a good use for the LRA if they're inclined to undertake that.
I'm not speaking for Commissioner Brenneman, but what I understand is what John has spoke of is we're just going to identify and maybe some uses. Right now, what we do in the later date, we may go through the LRA or another agency, another marketing agency. But right now, the task at hand is, do we wish to pursue this through abandoned mine land grants?
Well, and NRGRDA could also help market anything.
That could be another entity that could come into play later, but that's not a decision we have to make at this point.
Yeah, so I'm asking
Doesn't
the
mean we can't
commission,
discuss it though.
I am asking the commission to go ahead and approve Greenbrier Environmental working with Region 4. And we identify these properties and move forward from there.
Second. No, Commissioner Taylor, second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we need to take a little break. Sorry, but then we'll be right back with you.
So let's do with station 18.
All right, we are back at our meeting after a short break. And Ruth, it's now your turn.
So you want to go out in order, the first thing on your list is the funding for station 18.
Okay, we have received, Josh, you want to come up?
Yeah.
We have received 3 different.
Give you a set of map to go with us on the back. It's exactly what you got with them. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Look a little bit.
We have received 3 different or some different.
We try to
phases.
break it down in phases, because we've been trying to do this and, instead of hitting one lump sum, in the levy. You know, we're trying to break it down into phases year by year to try and ease the big lump sum getting took out of the levy at one time.
And
So
the
we
goal
broke
is,
it down. There is 4 phases. But the first 3 phases really gets it up and going. The 4th phase is more driveway and, you know, various aesthetic stuff.
so 1 phase per levy cycle year, basically.
Right, that's what we tried to do, yes.
Okay. So to back up just a minute, tell us about the bidding process and the awarding of the bid.
Okay, so we put a bid, or we did a public notice, public bid, and we had 3 bids. We opened them at our association meeting at Armstrong Creek, and we had certain criteria in it. We wanted this, you know, size buildings with certain concrete, you know, all the specs. And out of the 3, New River checked every single box that we asked for, and they were the lowest bid amount when we opened them all up there. And I can get the minutes. I think there was 15 stations there. So I mean, out of everybody.
And so at that time, you awarded the bid to New
Yes,
River.
we awarded the bid. We voted on it at the meeting and awarded it to New River.
Okay. All right. And will you submit us the scoring and all the
I can
copies
get
of the bids? And
we got a meeting tomorrow, and I'll get with everybody, and we'll get the hard copies, and I'll get it all together for you. I'll try it to you by Friday.
And also, please, a letter just describing what you just said. You
Sure.
know, the rationale with
Yeah,
the
no problem.
award.
No problem.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. So go ahead back to the phases.
Yeah, the phases, like first phase is going to be trying to get the actual station where we can put some engines, and it'll be an operating fire department. It's the biggest one. Simple fact, we got to run utilities, and you know, right out the get-go. We see it's going to be more than the other ones, but as we're asking for as late in the year we are, you know, if we can start to get the, you know, the money for this levy cycle, because we're already half over, and start the process come July, you know, kind of moving phase 1 into this year and next year to get that bigger lump sum for the first phase. And then the second phase.
Basically, just the shell of the second of what would become the training center.
Right.
It would just be constructed the building.
Yeah, like classrooms, bathrooms, stuff like that.
And we're talking about the flat land just beyond your burn buildings, just down from it. That's what I'm looking at right here.
Yeah. And that could change a little bit. You can see the lease line that was leased to the station.
Yes.
Or the rent lines. They're not lease lines, they're rent lines. Right. And so they could move somewhere. I threw that map together pretty daggone fast trying to get something for you. So
okay, it's okay. I just looking to where it was.
Yeah, it just show you a visual that the first one's going to be for the station. That'd be phase 1. Phase 2 would be constructing the shell of the second facility, and they would be adjacent to one another because we have the size of utilities accordingly on phase 1. That way, when phase 2 goes, then we're not having to go in there and upsize anything or do anything additional work.
Just tie right into it.
May I ask what existing utilities that are there?
Water, there's gas up on Persimmon Road, and that would be something we would be asking you guys to help us out with. If we could lobby with the gas company to get it down here, it'd be great.
To Columbia Gas?
It's I'm working with
Hope Gas?
Diversified owns the wells, and Hope's in the process of working with Diversified now. So we've already started the process, but when John Phelan, the engineer I use this creek, gets me more information, I'll bring it to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, we'd like to go gas instead of propane or electric, just for long-term cost of, you know, heat and everything. Gas would be a lot cheaper.
It could help the residents proceed better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's going to be, we'll need y'all's help for that.
So you got phase 1. Phase 1 going to consist of?
The station to house the equipment, the trucks, and to become a fire station in in the fire marshal, in the state fire commission fire marshal's eyes.
Phase one has the engineering costs, permitting costs, and all that stuff for the whole facility. Then phase one would have the bulk of that. And phase two, like I said, would be the training classrooms and stuff, the second shell of the building. And it would only be getting the shell of the building up there. I don't think there'd be any additional funds after, once this thing goes out to bid, because that's gonna be several, not next year, but the year after.
What is your projection on phase one? If you started it now?
We started now, it's gonna be cheaper if we started it in June.
I agree with you. If you started now, what would be your completion date of work?
We're talking about not even starting until like it'd be the beginning part of the summer, because you'd have to wait for the second allotment. So as you can see, this one's $900,000. So we would have to have the two levies. This one and next year's, and then we could construct this. And I don't foresee that taking long to go up. It's a pre-engineered metal building.
That's kind of what I was asking. If we started, how long would it take to put the construction to completion of phase one?
3 months.
Months, okay. Good deal.
You're gonna have a concrete pad. They've gotten, we was getting preliminary calls. The company that's a supply the building would put it up. So it would go quickly.
What kind of time would you save if we were able to fund phases 1 and 2 now?
If you fund them both right now, both those buildings, you probably have them both up in 6 months. If you pulled the trigger right now, they wouldn't start until probably February, because this is a bad time right now. If it gets really good and cold and stays cold, we could do something in February, maybe beginning part of March. But you could, both those buildings could go up quicker. You could probably get a cheaper price on the buildings. You probably get a cheaper cost on this construction, putting them up. Also, if you're reaching out to one guy and asking him to do it, both of them, I would say pour concrete in February. You just have to lay blankets over it. Buildings probably still go up in a couple months. You probably have both of the shells constructed, and then give yourself a couple months to complete the inside. So it would go up surprisingly quick. The site's ready to go. There's not much that has to be done. There would be a little bit of permitting I would have to do in the meantime. Like we would start the permitting right now. That way it gives you time to jump through hoops and satisfy the DEP and stormwater permits and all that stuff. Because that would take several months, but we could have that done before they start.
My thought would be to start construction in March. The weather's clearing, we've got time to get things together, get people organized to go. Then it would be March, April, May, and maybe June, and then you go into another levy cycle at July 1st.
Yeah.
That would give us that split of that 4.
Yeah.
That would be my thought. But you're the engineer.
I'll tell you what my thought is. I think do as much as you can, as quick as you can, and when you can. I mean, if we get good weather, I think the levy, am I right or wrong? This year's amount at the end of this year could still sustain 1.3 million.
That's the end of June, assuming you collect all your taxes in the $2.8 million.
So I think we have the ability to fund phases 1 and 2 now.
I'm good.
And I'd rather it get done sooner than later with everything that's happened. Now, one thing that occurred to me, I want to make sure we do it now that you have Station 18 officially formed. We need to, and I'm sure we're fine with Michael drafting it, but you need to get that lease between the fire association and Station 18.
We've got it. It's almost done. We're working on that as soon as I get it done. I mean, it should be done any week now. I mean,
okay.
Very soon.
If you need his help, I'll text you his number.
Okay.
Call him, but I'm going to want him to look at it. So just make sure you engage him at some point.
Sure.
We'll have the revised maps to fill it. That was I was calling them lease lines. And they're rent lines. That's what they are. They're not lease lines. So I had to revise the map and the narrative accordingly. So it should be ready by Friday. Get it signed.
Who came up with these numbers? Who was one that?
That was me and Josh, my engineer, Josh Cook. So, those are some of those are, that's rough. That's rough. Now, will we have to get in there and modify it a little bit? Yeah, we may have to give up a little bit here to make this work. But that's just using the numbers that Josh had provided me that he thought we could ask for. And I was trying to make it fit.
You're saying they're as accurate as you can do at this point, right?
Yeah, once you get in there and actually start the design, once we do the design, I could give you a firm number.
I was just showing you.
Like, this is what I need. Is it
Good deal.
900? Is it 1.3? Is it 1.4? Is it 1.1? I don't know, but once you get in there and start doing the actual design work.
These are accurate as you know it to be the best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, 10,000 foot view looking down. Yeah.
I'm gonna move that we approve the funding out of fire levy for phases 1 and 2. I think the levy can sustain it and it will expedite the build. And I think we need it. We've got trucks coming from Smithers. We've got things we need to store. So
I second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor? Aye.
Can I ask you a question?
You may.
Can I start the design work on? Well, you've.
yeah, is that, I mean,
Yeah,
I thought you were already contracted to do.
That's on there.
yeah, that's,
It started again.
it's,
Okay.
it's fun. It's
All right.
phases 1 and 2 are fun.
No, I mean, I'm ready.
You're in.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm also going to,
You got stung before.
Okay. Make sure that we can.
all right, let's pull it back together here a
It
minute.
happened.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, let's
Suspend
pull
the
this back
disbelief.
together. First, I want to, there's two more things for fire departments. First, we'll do the Smithers thing. So John, you want to come up here and you and Josh, I guess you have done that too.
I said this to Josh, but great job on that press release you did. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, Josh has been working on that for a while.
It was eloquent, it was poignant, I mean, it had everything in
Knowledge
it,
is done,
really
yeah.
well done.
Yes.
Listen, for me to say that, I mean, it passed muster.
So last week, at the State Fire Commission meeting in Morgantown, Josh, Commissioner Fournette, and myself were there representing Fayette County and the association. There was a special meeting regarding Smithers Fire Department on decertification. Several people spoke, including myself, the mayor, and the possible fire chief at the time. However, when the meeting was over, the commission decided to decertify the Smithers Fire Department, basically for life safety. Anybody that knows what's been going on in Fayette County, the Montgomery and Boomer Fire Departments has been covering that area for the last 3 years. Okay. Back in October, Mayor Cavalier presented the State Fire Commission with 2 letters, one from the Board of Directors from the Smithers Fire Department and one from the City Council, asking the commission to suspend all the operations in October. That was voted on and passed, and then the commission decided to start the process with decertification, which ended last week. When the papers were signed last week, it started the process. I did talk to Marshall Tyree yesterday morning, asking him for some advice because we were going to be speaking on this topic today. As of yesterday morning, the papers hadn't been signed to transfer over everything to you all, letting you all know that it is completely resolved. And however, he did say you should have that letter sometime in the next couple of days. This afternoon, myself and Josh are going to Smithers, talk to Mayor Cavalier to let her know what we're going to do as far as the equipment. I gave you all a list of our plan of action. We're going to meet with Chief Purdue this afternoon, and we're going to start the process with the Montgomery Fire Department today on the equipment Freddie needs from Smithers. Then Friday morning, we're meeting representatives from the Boomer Fire Department with Chief Myers and Deputy Chief Fout to go over Boomer stuff. And then we're going to continue the process of there. Also, I talked to the auditor's office yesterday morning, as far as funding's concerned on the 4 accounts that they have right now in their name. They have a Kanawha County, an account, which I spoke with, the director of fire services, C.W. Sigmund. He is presenting that to the Kanawha County Commission on the 18th. That's their commission meeting. His recommendation for that Kanawha County account is to split the funding that's already been allotted to Montgomery and Boomer. The state auditor's office recommends on the state account that those 2 departments will get the state allotment that's in their account. They'll be split and it'll go from state account to state account. That way there's a good paper trail there, and that's what they recommend. And then the other 2 is levy funding and a general fund, what they call. Now, what's all in the general account, I'm not sure. I can tell you and show you all what their account balances are right now. I have those if you need those. But it's roughly $204,000 between 4 accounts right now is what we're looking at. I did talk to Commissioner Fayette this morning, and the recommendation that Marshall Tyree asked us to do is wait about 30 days because of the assets. There's some still things out there. We gave Gia 2 invoices this morning. We've been reaching out to other vendors to let them know what's going on. That way, if there's any outstanding balances out there, to please get them into us as quickly as possible. But that's where we stand at as far as Smithers right now. But I want to emphasize to everyone out there, I know there's a lot of negativity on social media. The citizens of the Smithers Fire District is in good hands. And I mean good hands. Okay. It's been an ongoing situation, and Montgomery and Boomer has been running those calls for years with no problems. So we support the decision from the Fire Commission as far as association, and we will continue working with Chief Perdue and Chief Myers to make a smooth transition in Smithers.
With regard to the trucks, and I might have missed it.
Yes.
With regard to the property,
Uh-huh.
did the fire marshal's office have any objection to our proposal about how to distribute that equipment and?
And the next, our plan of action, the officers of Boomer and Montgomery are meeting this evening. They're gonna go over the plans. And at the next State Fire Commission meeting in February, it's in Charleston, we're going to present them the new mutual aid agreements between the 2 chiefs, the boundary lines. Actually, the boundary lines itself is right at Burger Cart, which is right directly in front of Smithers Fire Department. It's exactly 2.1 miles in both directions. So they'll continue running all the fires and wrecks automatic door response. But as far as all the trucks, equipment, everything, they were in agreement with our plan of actions and told us to move forward.
And the hearing in Morgantown, the State Fire Marshal's office, was funding, and who funded the Smithers Fire Department discussed.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, it was discussed, and we had everything documented where everything comes back. All the equipment, all the trucks was purchased by the levy, which means county property. There's nothing there at the fire station with the exception of the building that belongs to the city of Smithers.
What was discussed about the building, the value of the building that was given to the fire department by Smithers, the town of Smithers? What was discussed about that?
The mayor had spoke that there was a lot of money spent on that building. But she could not provide documentation.
Well, I know we put in an HVAC system.
Yes. Right.
In the past year.
So there was several things that was pointed in certain directions at that meeting, but there was no document to prove everything. But we do have the documentation on all the equipment, all the trucks and everything. And so that's why we're going down there today to start the process.
Well, thank you. It took a lot of time, a lot of hours. We appreciate you doing that.
no, we thank you all, and like I said, they're in good hands.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now, while we're talking about fire departments, on November the 8th, there was a bad thing that happened in Nicholas County where Rolling Thunder Mines, they had a mine cave in. One gentleman made sure that people got out, and unfortunately, he lost his life at the end. But I want to tell you a few things about what our two counties do together in order to help things out. Rescue teams deployed pumps, specialized equipment to combat the flooding. There were a specialized team for cave diving out of Tennessee that came in, and then Boomer stepped up. Boomer was on the scene. Chief Mike Myers, Deputy Chief Philip Font, they staffed the Boomer air support truck for 16 hours straight without a break to make sure that these divers were able to get air. Additionally, once they watched the divers coming out, they were soaked and they were actually shivering. You could see them shiver from the depth of the water that they were in and where there's no extra heat. So there was a call for some dry suits. Montgomery, Boomer, Golly Bridge, Anstead, Fedville, and all Oak Hill all stepped up with diver suits or dry suits, and these folks were able to do their job much more efficiently, and they were able to stay warm while they were doing it. Thursday morning, they needed another critical tool in order to bring the miner out that they found. And Chief John Vernon and Captain Denny Milam of Fedville responded within an hour with a Stokes basket wheel, and it was very well needed in order to get the final thing out. Nicholas County would like to express their gratitude for Fayette County specialized equipment and support. And that's one thing that I've noticed is that we all work together to get things done. And that's definitely appreciated. And I think it's very important that we continue to do that. So for everyone that was there and helped and just was there to lend a hand, thank you from the commission. Thank you from Nicholas County. And we appreciate what you do day in, day out.
Yes, and I want everybody out there to know, because a lot of people don't know what goes behind the scenes, but all the equipment that was just discussed this year, we had a line item for special operations, and without that shows you right there how important that equipment is. And that's not something we do daily, but it's something we're all trained in. We have, and when the need arises, it's there. I'm talking within minutes. When I put the message out to the chiefs, I had everything I needed. I'm talking within minutes, and it played a big part. Those guys over there, the mine rescue teams from Alpha, the state MSHA office, the federal MSHA office, couldn't thank us enough. So I wanted to thank you all to approve those pieces of equipment in our budget, because that's how important it is. And thank you all.
I would like to add, I reached out to the Alpha Metallurgical Mine Rescue Team after this event, gave them a little time to debrief, and they were so impressed with you, with Nicholas County Emergency Preparedness, and with Fayette County, that now they are purchasing some of the equipment that you guys provided for them.
Yes.
They've learned, and you guys were proactive. You were way out in front. And now, when it comes time that you need this stuff, it's too late to go get it. You had it. And we appreciate your proactiveness. And even though you are affiliated, we'll just say affiliated with Nicholas County, we do love Nicholas County.
Yes.
But we look at you as one of ours.
Right.
And we appreciate you and all of our fire departments that respond daily, not just this one incident, daily. I know the people of Fayette County may look out and say, you know, you're spending a tremendous amount of money on your fire departments. Listen, in a time of need, money is not the thing you're thinking about.
Right.
And we don't, we need put you in a best position to win and to be safe about winning. So
And
thank you.
yes, thank you. And with that being said, the governor's office is reimbursing. So if a check comes in for 12 dry suits and everything, it'll probably come to you all first. That's to replenish what I used. And then we'll get those ordered and get those replacements back out to the departments that was
Thought it was
mentioned.
55 dry suits is what you used.
No,
You sure?
I'm positive.
What, were they not able to return them? Like what?
No, once you get in the mine water and stuff
Oh,
like
it was
that.
because they were
Yes,
contaminated.
contaminated.
Okay.
So, yes.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Lipscomb's family is grateful
Yes.
too.
But thank you all.
All right. Ruth. Few minutes before 11.
So the next. You guys have asked for letters of recognition for the soccer team.
I just need to review them, but once you approve them, I'll just make some edits. Wouldn't have time, not 2 days.
Okay.
Travel home.
We've got time.
So, I move that we, approve and send the letters we requested, commending the Oak Hill girls soccer team and the Midland Trail golf team for their athletic victories, pending my edits.
I second the motion.
So we have a motion and second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the shelter.
Okay. We had some work that was done at the animal shelter that needed to be done. So we want to give a heartfelt thank you to our maintenance employees, our little control officer for jumping in at the shelter, fixing floors, painting, and fixing a lot of variety of other issues. Their assistance has made a real difference in improving the shelter, both for the animals and the staff. In 42 days, our shelter has 51 animal rescues, 13 adoptions, 20 foster cares or foster to adopt programs going on, and 10 strays were returned to their homes. So essentially, 94 animals were taken care of in 42 days. And we haven't had a response like that in quite some time. So with the changing of results for the animals and a positive culture, we want to continue to see the same improvement. And we'd like to thank the staff as well as the people that are working at the animal shelter. Okay.
Commission meeting calendar.
Should have that in the pocket.
Yeah. Sounds like they're good. The only thing was, I think we should strike the third meeting in September at 3, September 30th. The one I'm suggesting we strike.
Oh, I was looking October. Is that
Yeah.
right? Oh, that was good.
I mean, we can always add it back if we feel like we need to, but I don't think we want to schedule it.
Yes, there's 3, 2nd, 16th, and 30th.
Yes, I'm
Which
just.
one would you like to strike?
The 30th.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem.
Okay, so I move we approve the calendar presented and strike the September 30th meeting.
Second.
Good motion second on our calendar for next year. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I just got done changing the holiday memo. Are you guys getting the same? We always just follow what the state does.
Right, yeah, we just need to put that in.
Somebody just needs to print that on.
Okay.
Letter dated, you guys can sign.
So I move we approve the holiday memo, which outlines what our holidays are going to be and acknowledges that if the governor calls the last minute holiday, we will recognize it.
Second.
Motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Transfer orders. 3 transfer orders, general school, worthless children, and the district.
Move we approve the transfer orders.
Second. Have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
And
Garage report.
like, Philip has been waiting, and you're getting to have our.
Well,
Can they go ahead? And
Yeah.
present?
Yeah, we'll just go ahead.
You have a copy of this? I don't know if you do.
I think we did get a copy. Yeah.
I'm always right.
Got it.
This will be fine.
And I appreciate all the information you gave, by the way, Tanya, for your rehire. That was really how it had everything I wanted.
figured, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not better at it.
But anyway, what this is here is from Frontier. It's an extension of our phone service contract. It's set to expire in January, but we need to extend it out for a year. And this is due to the discussions we need to get into about next gen 911, about upgrading phone systems. So we didn't want to do a full on 4 to 5 year deal. We just wanted to do a 1 year extension. And the price and everything on there is pretty cut and dry.
There's more, Sean.
Is this within their budget already?
It'll be, I mean, yes, support it.
Okay. I move we approve this.
I'll second. Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a garage maintenance person, Mike Daly, started in November. Maybe 17th. You guys need to approve that. No further.
I move that we approve it, no per ton.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And same thing with the new dispatcher. Rehire, what was her name?
Rebecca. Vance.
Vance. Move we approve her rehire, not per ton.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye. Then the community meal, so, we discussed at Thanksgiving, we have the huge Lewis Center community meal, and there was an article in the news that said that, it had over 4,000 applicants at the time, which was extraordinary compared to previous years. And given all the, the government shutdown and all of the issues, the commissioners were all concerned about feeding the people of Fayette County. And because the amount the Lewis Center needed, it's not the Lewis Center, is it Lewis Center?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Because the amount it needed was within the county administrator's spending authority. We went ahead and weighed in and asked her to go ahead and send $6,000 based on the need to support feeding those people for Thanksgiving holiday. So I move that we approve that NUG pro tunc. We just need to ratify that decision in public meeting.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will tell you that Jack Kincaid was there. Myself and Commissioner Fournette were there. And there was a lot of people. Oh, and Matt Winder was there with us too.
Mr. Winter was there, yes.
Yeah, and we were all moving a lot of food that morning, so.
Is that MGR?
It was 4,000 meals served.
They're attending by Zoom. I got a text this morning. Andy's gonna be on there, and Jenna and Josie, I think. I think we could probably move through.
Yeah, courthouse facilities improvement grant. Elizabeth was awarded a grant to do the repointing on the part of the building where the circuit clerk's office is.
Okay, so we're just accepting the grant. So I move we approve acceptance of the courthouse improvement grant.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next thing, we just need a change order for records management preservation board grant. I think this was this the work the assessor's office was doing? They didn't use all of it, so I just need you guys to sign.
So I move that we approve the change order, which reduces the amount of the grant we're using by $5,000 and some change.
Second, got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we need to make it a matter of the minutes to request an extension for the REIT demolition grant.
Okay, I move that we make that request.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Does that cover it, Angela? All right, hazard mitigation lease for signature. All right.
Anthony, you review all of these, right? Okay, so I move we approve the hazard mitigation lease.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the AEP, did you talk to them?
Sent an email, and John confirmed this morning that this easement goes over top of the Meadow River Rail Trail. I mean, the way it's worded, it basically gives AUP the ability to do just about anything.
I think we need more time on that.
The other thing I think,
Yeah, just
the other thing that I would suggest is commission would like me to, I can reach out to the person that sent us the easement. In all likelihood, that easement is just a boilerplate stock. There may not necessarily be something that the power company is insisting on, so I'd suggest that you give me authority to reach out and present the concerns that we have and find out if they would be willing to amend the easement to restrict what they can do with the easement.
And maybe talk to Matt Ford too.
Okay.
So I move that we authorize our council to reach out and negotiate that easement.
I'll second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
We need to set up review committees for the shooting range proposals and the jail preservation grant proposals. So that's 3, 5, you want an odd number of people.
We're just gonna,
Review and put
Set it up.
forth their recommendation as to.
What's the jail preservation?
That's that grant we were awarded to, what all does it cover?
Yeah, it's to evaluate what we can do with the jail.
If it's like.
Salvageable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys have recommendations? I mean, I think for shooting range, we need a representative from sheriff's department.
Hold me to that.
I think we need someone from your staff.
do we have to set forth the guidelines yet or just establish that we want to establish a review? We don't have to name them now.
Well, if you don't like you don't have to name them, but. I
We
guess
can
it depends
describe
on
who
how long
they'll
you
be.
want it
The
posted.
guidelines. Okay, and who would be? So a member of your staff.
And I think maybe Dan Newton for the
Newton,
jail. Yeah, so why don't we do, whoever the sheriff's office appoints, Ruth will appoint someone or participate herself, and then, or do you want Dan to be yours?
He could, I mean. I don't care.
Well, that's up to you. I mean,
Yeah, and then
he's
maybe,
part of your staff.
yeah, and then, maybe the Deputy Sheriff's Association can put somebody on there.
Do you have any suggestions, Mr.?
They can appoint their own, just allow them to appoint who they want, like we do with other commissions. Okay, so just use Dan then.
Okay, works for me.
Yeah,
We're looking at probably a 5-member.
or 3.
committee.
3 to 5, yeah, so as long as it's odd, that way.
I think we're good
Yeah.
at 3.
Okay.
So jail preservation, obviously Elizabeth. I think also Dan Newton.
Mhm.
Anybody else you guys can think of? The why don't we get somebody from the historical society and the county historical society? Does that work?
Or Angela.
What do you mean?
But Angela.
And what?
Also somebody from the I don't remember who was on it. Dr. Cook was really involved.
Okay, yeah, let's just ask them to appoint somebody.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, all right, so that one's done.
Was there, well, wait a minute, I think.
Was there a motion for
Yes.
it? So,
So I move that we
Moved.
appoint to the first committee, that we ask the sheriff to appoint somebody, ask the Deputy Sheriff's Association to appoint somebody, and Ruth is gonna ask Dan Newton to participate.
Okay.
That's first motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye. For the jail preservation grant proposals, I recommend we appoint Elizabeth, Dan Newton from our staff, and then request someone from the Fayette County Historical Society to participate.
Second, we have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Farmland Protection Board audit extension.
So their audit was due November 30th. They made a mistake with their RFP. We had to approve them resubmitting, and now their new due date's January 30. I would just like you guys to.
So I move that we approve that audit date extension nunc pro tunc, because that had to be decided before this meeting.
Second. Have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I also gave you guys like a bare bones cash handling policy. I want you to make a matter of the minutes so we can get it in place for the animal shelter.
Right.
I move we approve it.
Second. Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor? Aye.
Next one's gonna be executive session.
Yes.
The EMS funding. So the state gave money again that has to be divided up between EMS. And they made it as clear as mud, but that's fine. 95% of the allocation goes to licensed providers with transport capabilities that respond to 911 calls. There's another 5% that could go that does the same thing, but do not have transport capabilities. We don't have anybody like that, so it's split between Jane Care, Mount Hope, and Priority. They can use it for equipment purchase. We're responsible to make sure they use it properly. And they also have to match 30%, and that can be from a grant or wherever. But they will get $30,303.03 each, and then they have to match a minimum of $12,987.50.
And they must purchase equipment, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
and
we-
we need to send them a
We
letter.
need to do a letter, yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say.
And then you need to decide if we want to pay the invoices or let them and prove, but they also have to prove like they had the match, where it came from, that kind of thing. So like
You're right.
there's example policies I sent to you guys.
What's your recommendation?
I mean, I don't care either way. I kind of feel better if we would just pay it and then we have everything together.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then.
But you're held to a standard that you have to, through audit purposes, they
Yeah.
have to report what they did with the money and what
Um,
they spent it on and where the money came from. Right? Okay, it is.
Distribution be based on call volume.
No,
No.
split equally.
It's split equally according to the rules. China. All right, so I move that we approve the county administrator send a letter to the ambulance companies that qualify for this funding with all of the rules and our policy with regard to reimbursements.
Oh, wait,
What?
and they have to do everything by June 30, and we have to have everything submitted to the state.
Well,
Did they make it any harder, for Pete's sake? Okay, so my motion is not gonna change based on that because that's in the criteria, so.
second.
Have motion and second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's the-
Opioid.
Opioid.
And Michael Wolf sent y'all a recommendation.
Yeah. Let me find it. It's just another,
That you motion. I think it was.
Yeah.
You can put that in executive session since it's a lawyer thing if you want.
dismiss all claims. No, I think we'd go ahead and handle that now. I mean, he's already advised us.
Alright.
I'm gonna move that, we enable or authorize our counsel, Mike Wolfle, in the opioid lawsuits to follow his recommendation that we, do not object to the dismissal of certain claims.
I'll second it.
Got a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and now I'm gonna move that we, do we want to do Wolf Creek Park and then go in executive session?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let's do Wolf. Oh, hey, Joe.
Good morning.
Check them, I saw Matt come in. Okay, hey, everybody, we're ready.
Hi, good morning. This is Andy from NRGRDA. We have our team from EDSA, the firm that we've been working with for the site master plan at Wolf Creek Park. And we have the final presentation of the work that they have been doing. Much of it was seen at the open house that we hosted a few weeks back. So anyone who attended the open house may be familiar with lots of the content, but the comments and input provided by attendees was taken into account and refined the plan. So I can hand it over to Christina and Brent, who will be presenting on behalf of EDSA. We also have a team from NRGRDA here today that we can talk through any questions that the commission or any attendees may have, and we'll be happy to address those after the presentation, if that's okay.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, we're here today to just kind of run through the presentation and the process of where we had ended up here. Like Andy said, we went through a series of community engagement and stakeholder meetings, and that informed a lot of this plan, and we're looking forward to share it with you guys. So let me share my screen. There we go. All right. So the project boundary, as most of you guys know, Wolf Creek Park is located coming from Route 16. You can access it through Appalachia Drive, which we know has been a little bit of a concern from the public. It is about 900 acres. A lot of it has pretty steep terrain, but a lot of it is developable. So we also have there the Wolf Creek Trailhead and just the Nature Center. And as you're coming in, Bridge Brew Works, and then a series of housing development here. As you guys know, the Department of Environmental Protection and the 911 call center is also located here, as well as Robbins Industrial. So some of the vision and guidelines that we developed from the start and that were given to us are here. First and foremost was providing housing for all. This was the most important thing, offering workforce, attainable, seasonal, and family homes to support local jobs. Balanced development and conservation was also very much on the top of the list, protecting the existing wetlands, the forests and the headwaters, but also focusing on the needed growth to support all the housing. Leveraging recreation as a defining asset. We know over the past few years, Wolf Creek has become a really great asset for biking and trails, and we really want to build on that trails and ecology just to make Wolf Creek just a regional destination that supports the rest of the growth that you guys are seeing on the region. Investing in resilient infrastructure is important, facing the roads and utilities just so the growth stays affordable and sustainable. And then a little bit down on the priority list, but supporting diverse and local economy. This is really important as well, growing small and recreation supported businesses, including some light industrial near some of the housing and tourism nodes. And then finally, creating a connected community. We want to make sure that this is a great community to live in with homes, trails, and open spaces that is just walkable and just a great place to be. Through our analysis, these are some of the opportunities and constraints that we identify. One of the first things that we identify, and this is like at a larger context, more regional context, the housing demand is very strong. There is a potential for 500 to 525 units over the next 20 years. We see there's a mix of single family homes, rentals, and for sale units. The pricing supports the top quartile positioning. They can compete at a higher price point while still being attainable compared to other national park communities. Seasonal housing is very much needed, and this can take up 1/5 of the program. This is compared to what we've seen in other communities that have national parks. Recreation is a core asset, and then we really believe that Wolf Creek Park already has such a great trail system And then that visitation can really support the growth needed. Conservation is very integral to this plan. Because of the raft topography that I mentioned earlier, really only 22%, 20% of the site is actually developable, which is a small part of it, which really makes you think how much of it can be conserved, making the wetlands and the biodiversity being like an anchor to the site. And then there is a potential for economic growth with light industrial and recreation supported businesses that just complement some of the housing. Some of the constraints that we see, first is the demographic headwinds. We see the household decline. We see the area losing population, and then just lower incomes that limit the demand of higher end product. There's some very high construction costs that can be a challenge if not paired up with some grants and other funding mechanisms. There's a lot of housing pressure as the area saw the national park come into the area. There's a lot of properties that are being turned into Airbnbs and instead of long-term rentals, and this just makes it harder for people to find affordable housing. Infrastructure is a hurdle because of the topography. We would need to see sewer lift station upgrades, water and internet gaps, and just the steep terrain makes it challenging. Tourism is seasonal, as you can probably start to see this time of the year. Winter months see just very low demand, and many visitors stay in neighboring Raleigh County. And then the economy, until now, it has been undiversified, relying in legacy industries, which just limits resilience. But as we see more tourism coming into the area, we see there's a great potential to diversifying this. We did some great market analysis, which led us to find out that there's a really strong local housing need driven by teachers, healthcare workers, and like I mentioned before, the seasonal recreation employees. And we really believe that Wolf Creek Park can help fill that gap through a mix of single family homes, townhomes, and selected rentals. I won't get into the details of this chart, but basically showing you where we are on the needs for which kind of housing, where we see the pricing being compared to other markets, and so on. So when it comes to land uses, we saw 4 very distinct land uses. The first one and foremost is residential. We see a mix of single family housing, townhouse housing, and townhouse it's divided into different attached single family housing as well, like duplexes, and then multifamily housing. Some of the priorities here is foremost creating attainable workforce housing. And we really believe this needs to lean in the early phases just to help support the growth for local workers. We really believe that a diverse supply is needed, balancing the different types of housing. We really focus on the efficiency in land use because of the steep terrain, where we place roads and where we cluster these housing was very important to consider. And that led us to the next one, which is being very efficient in the way that infrastructure is planned, creating compact clusters and just extending along existing water and sewer and broadband where it already exists. Creating low impact development along the same lands, just clustering this so we can preserve and leave untouched most of the site for conservation. And then talking a little bit about the flexibility for seasonal needs, designing attached and multifamily formats that can serve both long-term and seasonal stays. The second use is commercial. We see these in the form of restaurants and lodging, light industrial maker spaces, and then outdoor recreation support businesses. Excuse me. These, we really believe that they need to support housing first. We believe that commercial and light industrial stay secondary to housing, and they need to be located near housing clusters and just main corridors to make it more feasible in terms of infrastructure and access. We think that these are a neighborhood serving scale, using small format shops for food, convenience, and just local services, and then adding trailhead oriented retail such as bike shops and so on. When it comes to business and flex industrial, just providing these small workshops and flex places for entrepreneurs can really help with the economic in the region. And then limited the land use share, again, same as housing, clustering this, trying to preserve as much land as possible. The fourth use that we saw is that anything around community recreation, trail elements, and the framework around it. So connected trail networks mostly around development, connecting these, and then bike facilities, these are mountain bike trails. And then the third one is parks, play, and nature discovery. These are community-oriented spaces. One of the most important priorities was integrating these with the landscape for conservation, aligned with natural contours, so we can protect the wetlands, slopes, and forests as the core ecological asset. The expansion and diversity of trails, there already exists such a great network of trails. The intent with this is just extend this existing system with new loops, connectors, and just trailheads, just to offer like a variety of experiences for different users and abilities. We believe trails are as community infrastructure, and then we want to treat these trails as primary links between home, hubs, conservation areas, and just overall the whole development. And then activation through trails and nodes. You use this trail intersection as nodes near housing, hubs, and social play areas to keep the park active year-round. And then when it comes to materiality, maintenance, and efficiency, just use local materials and with the least disturbance to make maintenance pretty easy and affordable. The last land use is conservation and natural features. In most of the scenarios, as you will see, over 90% of the land is conserved. We see these as ecological learning nodes, leaning a lot in what it's already happening at the Nature Center and the Birding Center in the north of the site. Nature and gathering spaces, and just like an interpretive system and seasonal programs. Some of the priorities within these natural conservation and natural uses. Conserve land as foundational. We believe this is part of the identity of Wolf Creek Park, and we want to move forward with that. Plan around conservation first, conserve these areas early, and so they're within regarding what how the development takes shape. Design strong edges and interface, use trails, overlooks, and native buffers to connect people to nature. Apply best practices in development, such as clustering buildings, so we can follow on natural contours and use native planting. And then, like we mentioned before, elevating conservation as the identity. This is already happening, but we want to be in the forefront of this new development. So how we went about this, we created 4 different scenarios. Again, housing is the most important land use here. And each of these scenarios took a little bit of a different shape. Scenario A is really about concentrated development, mixing commercial, multifamily townhomes, attached single family, and then detached 60-foot lots. As you can see in scenario A, B, and D, 96% of the sites gets preserved. Scenario B offers a little bit more denser development, introduces a new housing type with these smaller lots, these 35-foot lots along one of the roads, and then keeping most of these larger lots in one, just like a spur road, limiting those to be able to accommodate more units. Scenario C really maximizes that development. It really extends the road quite a bit more, creating a little bit more land disturbance, but really maximizing the number of units on the site. Still, this scenario presents 94% conservation, so still like a large amount. And then as we were moving through this process, we were presented with the option of including a rec center within the site, and that's what scenario D does. It uses the first 2 road formats, but also introduces the rec center towards the north side of the development along the commercial uses. So this is what we brought to our community engagement session last time. Through the community engagement, we had 4 focused stakeholder meetings and a community open house. What we heard is a lot of support for a housing-led, conservation-centered, and recreation-activated vision. There was a preference to keep most of the site conserved with limited compact development areas. We heard all about trails. Trails were are the start for the community. They bring a lot of community pride, and that was the main focus of the feedback that we got. Workforce and attainable housing was seen as very important, but also there was little appetite for large scale or high density expansion. So we wanted to be really careful with that. Infrastructure and funding were viewed as some of the main constraints, but with the right partnerships and implementation formats and grants and funding mechanisms, that can be attained. And then there was a desire for public-private nonprofit partnerships and early activation, trails, small parks, temporary revenue uses, just to build the momentum in the park. Through the community engagement and the stakeholder, we landed in this preferred plan, which is the moderate development, which is scenario B. Some of the core elements of this plan, it is housing-led growth, conservation, it's the part of the framework here, recreation and trails as part of the activation, commercial and businesses are also integrating the plan, and then there's an infrastructure alignment with existing where the infrastructure currently exists. So very briefly, this plan presents 478 units with a great mix of multifamily townhomes, attached single-family homes, small lot detached, and then larger lot detached. It also introduces that commercial flex space at the across the street from the DEP. And then, as we mentioned, almost 96% of the land gets preserved. When it comes to trails, this was layered on top of that preferred plan. There's two different types of trails that were introduced. First is these development trails that go around the development that act as connectors and community hubs, but also these mountain bike trails, including these mountain bike trail that goes through the site, these connector trails that connect the different parts of the trail system, and then this downhill trail that is around 3 miles. So the idea with this is that it's integrated with the master plan, and then trails are planned alongside housing, open space, and conservation. They take into account existing trails. Very little of the trails were disturbed. Obviously, where there's housing development, these trails were rerouted to accommodate the housing and connect to the proposed trails. We want these to be connected and accessible. The primary loop and spurs link activity hubs, lower development areas, neighborhoods, and trailheads. We want this diverse experience, like mentioned before. We want it to be these really accessible, so stacked loop systems, just that you have family-friendly systems, but also harder, more advanced routes that can attract those kind of riders. We really suggest creating some wayfinding and interpretation, just unified signage and branding that helps brand the place, but also help people navigate it. And we really think that trails can be a community and economic engine, and it positions Wolf Creek as a regional destination, while also supporting the housing nearby and making these a very desirable place to live, where you can get out of your door and just go ride these trails. When it comes to implementation infrastructure phasing, this was planned in 2 phases. They're very straightforward. The first phase delivers workforce and attainable housing in clusters along existing corridors, integrate trails and conservation buffers, and add limited amount of neighborhood commercial along this edge. And then the second phase, as more people are coming into the side, we suggest growing towards the south. This expands housing into adjacent areas. This introduces single family lots and just strengthens the trail network and recreation nodes. In terms of infrastructure sequencing, like mentioned before, we suggest building where services already exist. So start housing near the current water, sewer, and power and roads, and then expand south as development happens. Using green solutions to manage stormwater with ditches, ponds, and buffers that also protect the streams and habitat. And then making sure all the roads are designed so they're walkable and they protect people, walkers, pedestrians, and bikers equally. Some of the things that, as we were finishing these, that were brought up to us was the question of what can be done in the near term for revenue generating. So these are some small ideas but can be accomplished with very minimal investment. A glamping partnership can be an easy thing to achieve. And this can be just leasing 5 to 10 acres to one of the outdoor lodging operators to activate the site and generate some steady lease revenue. And this doesn't require a lot of public investment. Number 2 was trail-based events and outfitter concessions. Some of these might already be happening, but we think that buffing these up and creating some marketing around this can really help, using the trail networks for races, guided rides, and tours with permit and vendor fees, and just building the brand recognition and partnerships with local outfitters. And the third one is just a semi-permanent food truck and pad. There's a lot of momentum happening with the brewery. We see these as a possibility just for near-term generation that doesn't require a lot of investment and create some buzz around the site, but also some revenue. Lastly, we want to introduce some of these optional tasks. These are not part of the current scope. We have somebody here from RCLCO, Dana. Dana, I don't know if you want to speak about these 3 optional tasks that were brought to Andy and Gina and Andrew at the beginning of these. But the idea with this would be to really bring some more financial reality to these in terms of commercial and just innovative implementation tools. I'll let Dana kind of speak about this. Like I mentioned, these are not part of the current scope, but this is something that Andy and Gina wanted us to talk to you about. You might be muted, Dana.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was restricted. Yeah. Nice to see you all. And yeah, we've been working very closely with EDSA to inform the housing and kind of economics for the site. And we really did focus on housing and initial financial feasibility without looking at public financing in our first phase of work. I think something that, again, the team is looking to potentially do is look at commercial. That wasn't something we looked at. So we did include these options of really diving into the retail supply in the area compared to the spending power of local households that will be in the area as well as on site. So that's something we specifically talked about for commercial. Other commercial analysis we're also able to do that includes the flex industrial that Christina has mentioned. That's part of the analysis, as well as the potential for hospitality. That's not shown here, but it would be a similar kind of scope to the retail. And then the other thing is, it came across in our analysis that there is obviously a bit of a financing gap. And so looking at Build West Virginia and a couple other programs that might have an impact on financing the site. And I think that we would really continue to work closely with EDSA to make sure that our findings are integrated well into the master plan and kind of look at that impact specifically. So again, this is not necessary, but it seems like something that could add value as we're trying to move this plan along and we haven't attacked yet. Thanks.
At this point, I'll open up for any questions and any comments that anybody has.
Yes, this is John Brenneman. I'm one of the commissioners, and I have a question for you. When was this presentation completed?
We completed the plan early November. Yes. I think we sent the last update November 7th or 8th.
Okay. For us as the commission, it's great that you did your time, but it would have been nice to have a copy of the presentation so that we could have followed along and made notes on it. And then we also have some people in the audience that would also like to have a copy of the presentation. Is there a website that they can go to get it?
We can absolutely send this over. And I believe Andrew might have a good mechanism of distributing this.
Hey, Commissioner Brenneman, we have the presentation from the open house currently on NRGRDA's website, and did wait until today's presentation to put the full report onto the website. We wanted it to be presented first here, and the plan is to post that to the website, the Wolf Creek Park website, immediately, pending the discussion today and essentially the approval of the plan. That's not to say that commentary is closed. We want to continue having people weigh in, comment on the presentation as it stands, and of course understand that this project as it is, including the site plan that we have in hand now, is an ongoing project. So any input is not only expected but desired from anyone who would like to add commentary and add their thoughts.
I have a couple of things too. First, I want to agree with Commissioner Brenneman. I mean, in the future, for any briefings to this commission, I mean, I would appreciate a copy of slides so we can read them and consider them and be prepared to ask questions and as you stated, take some notes. But also what I was expecting and have been, anticipating and waiting for were the recommendations that I requested before the study started, which is how does Fayette County Commission, what kind of tax schemes, what kind of things do we need to do to market this property? What are our options with regard? And I saw that as an option, but that's not how this was supposed, that was supposed to be part of this result from the beginning. And I bet I have many meetings worth of minutes of us stating that, because we want to know what we can do to make this property as a local governing body, to make this property as marketable as possible to the potential buyers and developers.
Commissioner Taylor, that is understood. And as Christina mentioned, the work in what's titled the optional deliverables, that is green lighted. We are moving forward with those deliverables, working with RCLCO. The way that I have understood it is post final presentation of the site master plan, that work initiates to use the site plan in conjunction with the additional work that RCLCO will be doing. And if Dana has any additional comments, she's welcome.
Well, we don't have to belabor this here, but what I will say is this: I wanted that information by now, not a few months from now. That was supposed to be, I was already uncomfortable with the deadline of November for this study to be done. And then to not have that information in what has been presented today has me upset, not only as a commissioner, but as the board chair for NRGRDA. So I do want to have a follow-up discussion about this with the executive director, who has expressed to me some of her concerns, and with the company that did this review, because it was from the beginning and from the outset part of the scope. So we can have that later. We don't have to belabor that now, but I do intend to follow up.
I'm also requesting a meeting with Jenna here in Fayetteville. There's several questions, several things that we need to discuss.
Yeah, and she's prepared to talk to us today.
Okay.
She's on the call.
Okay.
But with regard to this presentation and this subject, I think it falls short.
I do think one tricky part of it is that in order to understand what the gap is and how we can make this property marketable, typically the first step is to kind of have a master plan in hand, because I think we need to understand what's possible on the site and what types of land uses we're looking at in order to kind of accurately back into that need from the county. So I think that was kind of the rationale for doing it in this order, to make sure we have a really concrete plan grounded in market economics, and then begin to really understand, okay, what do we need to offer developers to make this happen?
Well, I understand logically that, but a lot of this information, and we've got members of our former members of our urban renewal authority here, But a lot of that you presented was not new to me, and I'm sure it's not new to them. So that information was available for consideration before now. It's been compiled differently, and it might have been supplemented, but that information was available, and that was part of the scope. At no time during this until today was there ever an update to this body and I don't know about NRGRDA, that deliverable was not going to be delivered on this date with any justification or anything. I mean, we find out on the day that, we've been waiting for about how we can take some action, move forward here. And I'm gravely disappointed in this outcome and in the way this is managed. But like I said, I will address it in both capacities with my colleagues' permission.
This is Commissioner Fournette. I want to ask a question. How long has your organization been tasked with this project?
I can answer that. We started this project in July, August. I would have
July, August of
this year.
Yes. This year, 2025?
Yes, that's correct.
That is when you were tasked with this development of this property?
That is correct.
And how long has the NRGRDA had control of this property?
I probably Andrew's better answering that one than I am.
I can
September of 2024, would that be right?
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
September of 2024. So as of July 2025 or September 2024, this is what you present this body with? I mean, are you happy with that result?
Greg, if you are asking NRGRDA that, I mean, I think the challenge that we were presented with ownership of Wolf Creek Park was trying to determine, again, to Commissioner Taylor's point, what kind of investment we needed to be looking for, because we know the property is not ready and marketable as it is now. That's why it's been empty for so long. There's significant investment that's needed there. So that was the purpose of this particular exercise. I will say that from the NRGRDA side, we have talked internally as a team, and we were also expecting that this delivery would have some additional information related to those kind of capital structures, so that we've made that abundantly clear from day one. So we're prepared to kind of course correct with RCL Co and the EDSA team to determine when we should expect that information. But if you're asking, about our ownership of the property, we have had it a little over a year at this point.
And for what we've been presented today, that has been the advancement, that we need more trails and we need housing that we knew in 2024, January of 2024.
Well,
I mean, and again, I have frustrations. I do. And the people of Fayette County have frustrations. And this is a governing body that represents the people of Fayette County. Now, we have to move, we have to move with meaning. We have to move with purpose. And I understand that it takes time. But you are saying in September of 2024, when you acquired this property, that this is the point we've come to in December of 2025. Is that correct? Well, is it correct? I mean, is it correct? This is the point we've come to. This is no more information that can be given.
Well, I'll add that part of the delay, though, is having to bid out to get the study done, find the funding for the study, and award it. So
okay. Have we been tasked with anything to be able to fund this? Has anyone come to us with a project or a funding request other than a study?
Well, the study was funded by someone else.
Yeah. Well, other than a study, have they been asked?
Sorry, I couldn't.
Let me ask you this: Has West Virginia American Water been contacted about water and sewage?
Yes.
Okay. What is the result of the meeting?
So that's in the plan. So Christina and Brent
can here I'm Brent Lloyd. To address, so all the utility providers, adjacent municipalities, all the key stakeholders through our planning effort that really initiated in August have all been part of the conversation and the dialogue. We've had multiple stakeholder meetings with those entities. discuss water and utilities, all the aspects across that. We had Kimley Horn as a supporting partner from an engineering review perspective around all the infrastructure needs. All of that is part of the report. And so that dialogue has happened with various entities across the board and reflected in the findings within the report.
And
Why
Commissioner
wasn't this
Fournette,
included to us? Why wasn't it included? Why has the county commission not been kept in the loop? Now, you're saying that you've talked with the West Virginia American Water. Are you saying that it was a positive meeting, a negative meeting?
I think all the meetings that occurred from a stakeholder standpoint and were intended to be early working meetings to understand conditions of available infrastructure, utilities, all those types of things. All of those meetings were positive. The challenge with servicing the site is definitely coming from a water and sewer standpoint. That those are anything that's a wet utility side always presents challenges to service a site like this that has limited access and availability. There are pathways to support that. There's grant and funding opportunities that are out there that may be able to be applied to this condition and this project to help support those things. Those are identified within the report and discussed from that standpoint. So the tone of discussion with utility providers, other key stakeholders are all very, very, encouraging and positive. Do they have an absolute resolution of, hey, this utility needs to get to this location? This is a high level planning effort at this point, but what we've tried to do is identify the opportunities, the outcomes, and how that infrastructure may be able to be supported within the site and service any the greater opportunity there.
Has public grants funding been pursued, and what was the tone with that?
So we met with several entities, including from the region at the West Virginia state level. We also met with state representative to talk about funding pathways. There's a variety of mechanisms for that out there. Those are highlighted within the report as well. There's obviously a procedure and process to get to each point of that funding that it's not an overnight process. It takes time, but what we're trying to do is identify the various opportunities around funding on that. Things that are around water infrastructure, utility, roadway, those are things that are essentially shovel ready type projects in that realm are usually going to be a better opportunity because it leads to direct outcomes with development of the site. So those opportunities can continue to be explored going forward. And in our minds, very critical to the success of anything with the property. I mean, the infrastructure costs and the grading, the site development costs are definitely the biggest challenges out there. Building vertical homes, buildings, light industrial, that's not is much of the challenge. It's really getting the utilities and servicing there. It doesn't mean that they're not available. It's just it's a site that doesn't, it's not in a central downtown location. It's in, sort of a periphery area and getting the infrastructure there is going to be a big part of how to resolve and develop the site.
We already understand that though, and
Yeah.
have for a long time. And what we were looking to learn today is different types of funding schemes or tax schemes or things like that we could offer a potential developer of the site to kind of mitigate that cost for them. And we don't have that, and that's why I'm very frustrated. So I've heard a lot of I have heard a lot of what I already know today, but I haven't heard any answers to the questions I asked before this process started. So, do we have any more questions right now?
I do not. I don't think that we do. I think it's better to stop right now.
Okay,
Before I say something wrong.
All right. So, thank you, everybody. And moving on, I'm going to make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss some of the legal policy issues in Judge Fast's recommended policy with regard to the money we've allocated to the judges to spend.
I'll second.
Okay. So
going into executive session at 11:57. Welcome back to the meeting. We just come out of executive session and no decisions were made. Commissioner Taylor.
Okay, so Judge Fast had suggested some policy guidelines with regard to the $4,000 allocation that we have made, or up to $4,000 allocation we have made for the judges to purchase jury food and drink as necessary, and necessary expenses for their courtrooms. In discussing it with legal counsel and in the context of state code and our audit requirements, we are going to be unable, I believe, to adopt the policy that the judge presented and asked us to approve. Alternatively, I'm going to move that we send a letter to Judge Fast in response to this, implementing or advising of the measures we can take, given all of the audit considerations, the state laws on purchasing, the county policy with regard to what types of purchases we would approve and not approve, and that we send that letter to the judge, and after he receives that letter, give him the opportunity to discuss that with us further. So my motion is that we draft and send a letter to the judge outlining how we can handle these purchases and these expenditures within the county purchasing rules and state auditing and state purchasing procedures.
Second.
We have a motion second on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion.
Was there anything else we had?
No.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
thank
Thank you. Okay,
you. Amen.
going to the third meeting.